It is Saturday morning, 5:40 a.m., and we are about to get started. My name is Toby. I am 40 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. I do that by minding how much I sleep, what I eat, by training my strength, my conditioning, and my mobility. This morning is a strength and conditioning day with kettlebells. It's my tool of choice because I can do it right here from my home every day. So that's where we're at, and I can see that the camera is slightly crooked again, and I can't tell you exactly why. I just say that it is. So make a few minor adjustments here. See if that improves anything. Or if it only made things worse. Oh boy. Well, in any case, we're here because we want to train, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. This is all about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I always like to remind myself of that, but also people who might be watching. I intend to feel fit and competent for whatever life is going to throw at me. And that could be a variety of things. That could be any number of things. I think it's important to realize that it's the person we are today who's going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. So we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. There are enough people out there who want to put us down, friends. We don't have to do that to ourselves. Let's work on lifting ourselves up and making sure we feel good about who we are and what we're doing in life. The only way to get anything done is by showing up and doing the work. So I'm going to hit the timer. We're going to start with a little warm-up, and then we're going to get started on this Saturday morning. And since it's Saturday morning, there are a couple of things that we want to talk about maybe when it comes to health and fitness, but we'll get around to that in a minute or so. I'm just going to do a full check-in with certain parts of my body. See how we feel. Let's see how everything is moving. And then we can build the program from there. All right, friends? So, we'll work on my neck mobility because we're going to be doing some overhead work. And we just want to make sure that the neck is moving as intended, because it is one of the areas that I have struggled with this year. But it's gotten a lot better because we've been working on its function, mobility with intention, together with a physiotherapist. So here we are. do you have any plans for the weekend? You can let me know in the chat if you're watching. I know I have made purposefully a few plans to be able to spend enough time with my family. After a busy weekend last week and the week before, it's now nice to just be able to relax and chill out. So that is what we're going to be doing for the weekend. GFG, GGG, what time do you have? I have 5:41 a.m. So it is 5:41 in the morning here. Thanks for dropping by and for saying hi. And I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. So this is an early morning workout. We're going to be working on strength and conditioning in a moment. When after the warm-up is done. Do you do any kind of workouts? Is it early morning where you're at as well, or is it a different time of day altogether? I know sometimes people from the States watch and it is end of day where they're at, warming up the wrists. Trying to make sure that all the major joints are active, happy, and ready for what we're about to do. So, like I was saying earlier, this week, that because it's cold and dark, maybe you're not sleeping as well as I would want to, or as much as I would want to. There have been quite a bit of snacks on the table now. In and of itself, snacking isn't a bad thing. There's no rage against any kind of food here, also not against any kind of machines. But it is the habit of snacking, something little every day, that gets to me, because I know how it accumulates over time. So preferably 5 days out of the week I eat relatively clean, generally home-cooked, healthy foods, lots of greens, lots of lean protein sources, and try to avoid the snacks where I can. And then the main snacks become things like, protein-packed yogurts, stuff like that are high in protein and low in calories. But sadly, recently that was hip and ankle mobility, by the way, so we're just going to do the ankles and then the hips, and then we're going to get started. We have enough work to do. After a brief warm-up, some swings and full body flow, we're going to move into clean and jerks with a 12 kilo. Finding that balance. So that's one of my biggest battles and challenges in life. is I like snacks. I enjoy snacking. I enjoy candy. A huge sweet tooth. But I understand the detrimental impact that it'll have on my short and long-term health and fitness goals. So, what can you do in that case? Well, you can try to control and change the behavior by creating new habits. We have interventions we can do that might help us control or change the amount and frequency with which we eat candy and just change the structure of our environment, i.e. go from an environment where candy is very readily available to an environment where candy is not so readily available. So you can think about it, and you can see how there are different things that I can do in life that'll help me or make me better able to resist snacking and eating. Now again, generally, candy is not the issue. The issue is that if you have candy, or if I have candy once in a day, usually in the middle of the day, it's way more likely that I'll have more candy later on in the day. And I think that is where some of my concern comes from. Is that it is just easier to avoid certain things altogether, because if it's out of sight and out of mind, and I'm focused on other things, usually I do pretty well with all kinds of goals, like eating and drinking more water, things like that. So it is really a matter of, understanding and resisting some of those sudden urges to eat the snack just because I see the food. Instead of actually consciously thinking, this food I want because it's going to help me reach my health and fitness goals. So think about that as we're going through this process. All right. Clean jerks, 5 times left, 5 times right, 12 kilo. And you can see how that goes. And we're going to take a minute of rest. I'm actually going to fix the tape because that's going to get a bit irritating. So, anyway, what we're talking about is building and creating habits that are, in a way, conducive to long-term health and fitness goals. And what we can actually do to build those habits, right? Which is sometimes one part willpower, sometimes sometimes it means taking charge of the environment we're in. That's why 4 weeks ago we started with adding a glass of water to our daily routine. Then we tried to find a way to fit in a 10-minute walk. And now we're looked at sleep. So, we could create a 15-minute wind down routine. How we could create a 15-minute wind down routine. And then from there, we actually are now going to look at, or we have looked this week, at how we can add a bit more protein to our daily eating routine. Because if we're going to change our lifestyle to become more active, if we're going to add a gym routine, strength training, resistance training, mobility training, conditioning training, we're going to start not only expending more energy, but we're also going to want to build some muscle. And the only ways, or one of the ways we build muscle is not only by training to give the impulse to the body that it needs to adapt, but also by sleeping better, because sleep is where a lot of the restoration and strength comes from, but also by eating smarter and better. So one of the mistakes I see people make all the time is this misguided belief that all they need to do is squeeze in some time in the gym and magically their health is going to improve. But that is merely 1/3 of the equation. And another minute of rest. So, you do one leg deadlifts with a 16 kilo, 5 times left, 5 times right, and see where we can take it from there. So you need to build in some squats as well, some other things. So when we think about our general health and fitness friends, and we're trying to make better choices, remember that health is a combination of it's a combination of sleeping well, eating well, and exercising in varied manners, or moving in varied manners regularly. And often, the most important thing we forget is to be consistent with all of those things over longer periods of time. So we tend to think that we can do a 2-minute program and get a 2-week program and get healthy. I can tell you from personal experience, especially being at 40, that if we're unhealthy, sadly, there are no quick fixes, because once we fix it, what happens is we need to maintain it. So rather than fix it, lose it, fix it, lose it, why not just build being healthy into the general flow of our life? Keep looking up. You're right, it's a combination: diet, sleep, rest, balance. I don't get enough sleep, I don't exercise well. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. Keep looking up. I appreciate that. And I hope you're doing well where you are in the world. It is 6:02 a.m. where I'm at this morning, and I work out at this time because I've got 2 little kids that will wake up anywhere between 6 and 7. So I've adjusted my daily schedule to accommodate the life of being a father. And indeed, I second that. This is why I'm doing my strength training on Saturday, not on Friday, because Thursday night I was a guest at I don't want to say highbrow, but an alumni event from my university, which was an hour drive away from home. It was an evening event. And I got home at midnight, and before I got to bed, it was half an hour past midnight, and since I usually stream at 5 a.m., I decided that if I was going to do strength training and be somewhat functional during the day, I would be better off sleeping, which is what I did, because sometimes the trade-off for health and life is whether to or to not do something. And I think we just need to get better and better at making those kinds of decisions for ourselves when we embark on a journey of personal health and fitness. So, what kind of training do you do, or are you into? The reason I decided to learn and get better at kettlebelling this year specifically is because I need to work out at home, and we do not have the space for a lot of gym equipment. So the kettlebell gives me the most versatility and bang for my buck. So there's no rage against machines, so to speak, or any dislike of any kind of training method that anyone enjoys. It's just being very practical about how much time I have, the facilities I have or can have as close to home as possible, and then making the most of that. making the most of that, which is where the kettlebells come in. And there are pros and cons. They're good for strength and conditioning, not great for bodybuilding, muscle building. You're going to put on muscle, get stronger, and grow in size, but different goals require different tools. But for me, because I'm into functional strength and fitness, i.e., like I say, I would like to be fit and capable for life. Then showing up every day for 30 minutes, picking up a kettlebell and doing a variety of exercises. So I do clean and presses, clean and jerks, snatches. It's kind of like the base full body strength and conditioning. Heavy swings, working our way up to 24 kilos. And hopefully over time, at the end of the year, we will be able to do 20 kilos snatches and clean and presses. Eddie Spaghetti, welcome back. It is good to see you, friend. Thanks for dropping by and saying hi. I appreciate that. And it's nice to know that out of all the people that are following me and regularly drop by, you're still there, keeping an eye on my channel as well. So, train with what you can. If you go back to my videos a year and a half ago, you'll see that I was doing a lot of body weight. That's how I actually started. This streak of a year and a half is that I started off 7 minutes body weight exercises. That became 15 minutes, that became 20 minutes, and then, well, you know how that goes. That are now sometimes 45-minute sessions, strength and conditioning. Because my body adapted and got stronger and got more capable, and I got more interested, and I figured I could squeeze 7 minutes in, then I could squeeze 15 minutes in, and then when our youngest started sleeping well, it became even possible to start doing more and more. So I combine strength 3 times a week with mobility 3 times a week, and I go running once a week. And that combination of activity and rest, but still working on something different every day helps me a lot. I go to weights and jog. I've been playing golf, low intensity. That's cool. And I think that probably low intensity is a really good way to go. Golf sounds like a fun sport, by the way. Spending time outside. Last one. Spending time outside, a lot of walking, social as well, and which is one of the reasons why I enjoy going to the gym. And I'm looking for a team sport or something, or a club sport. Because the social aspect of sports is very important as well. I might like golf. It requires patience, that's true. And lots of conversations. But I've tried. And a bit hard for me to learn. YouTube punk, my friend, you didn't miss a lot. We're just wrapping up, getting here for the end of it, which is good, because I'm assuming that it's late where you're at in the world. And because it's late where you're at in the world, it's important to prioritize bedtime and sleeping, my friend. But I hope you're well where you are. We were just talking about golf and how relaxing and social and good pastime it is for health and conditioning. All right. Around clean and presses. 3 on the left, 3 on the right. And we're going to do one more set of squats. And then we're going to be done for the day. So we've done full body, strength and conditioning. It's really here in Illinois. They never won. That's true. Oh, I guess there are different opinions about golf and about the benefits. And like I always say, health and fitness are first and foremost incredibly personal. And since the most important thing to long-term health and fitness is consistency, finding things that we enjoy doing above all else, is a key to figuring out a healthy lifestyle in the long run, friends. So just keep that in mind. For those of you watching, except for YouTube Punk and Eddie Spaghetti, because you know me by now, my name's Toby. I'm 40 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. This is about the way I feel, not about the way I look. I want to feel fit and competent for whatever life is going to throw at me. That's because I have kids that I want to play with, go out on adventures with, explore the world with, keep up with as they grow stronger and faster. I have a demanding career that I spend time on, and my focus and my energy for the work throughout the week. And I know that we're going to live to get old, barring any tragedies. And by old, I mean we're going to get into our 80s and 90s with the current lifestyle and medical advances and technological advances. But at this point in time, we're getting older, but we're spending more time in disease and discomfort, which, as I understand it, is preventable because a lot of the disease and discomfort that we might encounter is preventable through healthier lifestyle and different choices. So if you're like me and that's something you're interested in, you go ahead, check out my channel, subscribe, and we can continue this conversation not only now, but for the next 20 years maybe. And let's see where this journey takes us. Whatever it is, friends, take care, be well. And remember, we're good just the way we are. We've got to love ourselves. Funny, YouTube Punk. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. And the only way to get anything done, friend, is by showing up and doing the work. So subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Take care, friends.